Welcome back, everybody. And first of all, I have to give you a warning. What? A warning? Yes. CPU overheat and you. Before I forget, hit that bell. Now, where were we? Please don't take my workflows and put like 1000 frames or add a movie as the input because you'll cook your computer and it's silly. I always put in a 60 frame cap, 60 frames at a time, guys. Most computers can hardly handle that, okay? I need to quickly preface this video with a quick discussion before we jump into what we're going to look at today, okay? So a lot of people probably won't see this because it's not like a mainline video or whatever, but hey, maybe some people will see it. So at the moment, image generation is a little bit like a flipbook. It's thousands of pictures all together, okay? And when you're processing them like that, that's a big bottleneck on the CPU and the RAM, okay? Soon as you start to go over a certain number of frames at a certain resolution, you've just used it all up. And what can happen is you lock up your system. You'll know because the sound will go, and then the mouse won't move. And then you got to turn it off. And it's always because too many frames. Okay. I love to help everybody out, but I just wanted to sort of give a little PSA because what we're going to look at today specifically is a very high risk to your system. When I say that, it's not going to damage it. Okay. You'd have to like walk away and leave it overheated for hours. That's what would happen, but you should never do that. You should always make sure that things run before you leave them unattended. Never just let it run at 1000 without having actually overseen it once, at least. So it's not just going to cook your computer. Because at the end of the day, it's crunching loads of numbers. All the chips are full of numbers. Okay? I'm trying to put this in very simple terms. Not because it's, because it is complicated and we have to respect that it is complicated, right? But the concept is simple. If you put too much in, it will get hot and you'll have to turn it off. Now, you can get a much more technical explanation than that, I'm sure, but that's all you really need to know from a practical point of view. Okay, so try to break your stuff up. All right, for now, it looks like running at 1024 by 1024 based resolutions, you're looking at 2 to 6 seconds. Interpolation can get you up to 12, but you don't really want to be shooting for the moon yet, okay? Because the efficiency, it's just not there yet. Just to give a sort of bit of insight, there are things called K-frames and I-frames in video, which we're not really utilizing yet, okay? So right now we're making a flipbook. So lots of images that are all the same, but they're different, and it makes a video. And at the end, you get your video. But before that point, it's like thousands of high quality images. Now, the way that video is done, they get around this by using the algorithm, the MP4, to convert the video. So you're only getting keyframes, and then it's using a vector shortcut type thing to project where the pixels that are actually going to change are changing. And in that way, you get pretty much all of the video without actually putting every image in every frame. Okay. It's a very important thing to note, That's why high frame rate video with lots of action can sometimes lag out when a guy just kind of stood in the distance, not really moving and talking. It's just him that's really changing. It's also why you get weird compression artifacts on like trees and stuff sometimes in a scene because things are like moving only a bit and it tries to do the shorthand and you get a bit of ghosting because it didn't really store every image. Anyway, that's all by the by. This is the last little update until I decide to make something else crazy. So this is FFX Fade-O-Rama. On this GitHub, there is another project, which is a collab, and it is called FFX-O-Rama. And what it was a whole bunch of, you put 2 images into the collab, an A and a B, and then you choose a transition, and it would use FFMPEG to just quickly blast into an animation. And it was a sequence. No, it was an MP4. Yeah. And then you could take that video and put it to music and chain them all together. That was the idea. So you could make like cool slideshow videos, right? Basic stuff at the moment, but we step it up, don't we? We try to keep it simple. Is this even the right? Yeah, this is the one we're looking at here. Let's look at the actual workflow because it's a bit clearer. You can actually see what it is. So what we've got is we've got an image and an image. And then we've got resize, so we make sure they're the same. Okay. The first image is the control, I guess. So this is what's going to be used to, I use image size adjuster v2 to determine the best, safest stuff, and then drive all of the other images from that commander. So then you can ensure that all of these images are the exact same size. You've obviously got the ability to either stretch or crop. So I'm going to put them on crop. All right. And then we've got the number of frames that you want the transition to take over, and then a bunch of my favorite presets. Now, these were all, a lot of them were built into FFmpeg. So all I had to do was type word. Okay. So what I did was I tried to make these in Python. So they're using like libraries, but it's not using FFmpeg anymore. It just makes a whole bunch of images. Okay. Now, I think they're coming out as a list because it wouldn't go in as a video when I was testing it. But I did then do some code changes. So, but I think you have to use image to batch to put it into the combine. And then you get this. So if I take something, I like the double left band, which is pretty cool. If I just run that one, and this is obviously going to save as a little clip. Give it a minute or less. And yeah, are they two different images? Yeah. Okay, there we go. And now it's going to give me this RGB double shift band thing, which I like. So yeah, we put that one in there. And then what I did was I decided, well, we could probably develop this a little bit and make something cool, right? So what I pretty much did was I took the concept to here. Now, this is where I'm saying about cooking your PC. If I go any more than this, if I do any more than this, it has a fair chance of just killing the computer. This might even kill the computer. I'm sure that if I was to remove these, if I was to remove that lot down the bottom and just keep that last one. And another thing I've been doing is connecting the first image back to make a loop. So if you take the first image to the last image, it'll make a loop for you. And then you can just let it run over and over and over. So you don't have to like make 1 million things. You can just make 10 and loop them 10 times, get more mileage out of your stuff, right? Also gets more screen time for what you've made as well, because the idea isn't just to make it go from one to the other to the other. We're holding for 90 frames. Let me just check. So yeah, we hold the image for 90 frames with a repeat, and then we do a 30 frame transition, and that will keep it on beat time for music which fits on a 4-second pattern, right? So if you've got, this is the thing, to finesse it, I would do it like this because it has a 4-beat, like a 4-beat layout. It has a, there is a 4-beat layout. And then what you can do is you can actually just resize the length of the video to match the music beat. Sometimes that's easier, because you know that it's going transition, transition. And you can kind of do that with the rhythm of whatever music you're listening to and time it that way. I've obviously put one of my tunes in here to go with. I think for the sake of it not blowing up my PC while I'm trying to record the video, I'm just going to delete that and make it short. So we'll just do 3 and have it end on the owl. So I'll go jellyfish, horse, owl. I'm using fill, crop for all of them. And I'm using smooth left, right, RGB double right. And I think that's all I'm using because, like I said, I don't want to blow it up for the demo. But in fact, I'm not going to bother doing it. I'll just show you. It looks like this. It does this. So the node on its own creates a transition from A to B, and you've got presets. That's pretty much what Fade-O-Rama does. It's Fade-O-Rama, yeah? You've got all these different fade options. If I just quickly have a quick look at them quick. So you've got fade, which is crossfade, glitch A and glitch B, which is kind of like doing a weird RGB channels offset. Wipe right and wipe left, simple stuff. Smooth left, smooth right. I got open glitch doors, so it's going to open from the middle and do the RGB channel glitch stuff. Close glitch, same glitch. Then RGB, these are bands that go left or right. And then you got fade to black and fade to white. And obviously when you fade to black, it'll fade from black to the next image as well. It's not just going to end black. It'll go to black and then to B. All right. So that's what that is, and that's what that does. And as you can see, just to give you a rough idea of what I actually did here, so I've loaded my first image, used that as the controller, and then I've used the adjusted widths for all the resizes from that point to make sure everything is the same. We're running with 896 by 1216, which is pretty big for what we're doing. 90 frames, hold, 30 frames, that's 120 frames. That should be 4 seconds at 30 frames per second. Then what we're going to do is we're going to see we've got the repeat frames first. That goes into the image list. And then we do our FFX Fade-O-Rama. So we take image 1 and image 2 into Fade-O-Rama, put that into image 2, and then a repeat for image 2. So it holds for the 3 seconds on the next image in there. And then obviously we do another Fade-O-Rama to the next image, 30 seconds goes in there. And then that's where I was chaining them on. I don't know why. Get rid of that. Yeah. That's basically, and then I would chain them. But I think that at the moment, until I can find a more efficient way to do it, because it just runs out of memory, which is insane, and it shouldn't do. And I think that there's just a better way of doing it. Because it's not this. This is making 16 images. Fade-O-Rama makes 16 images, so it's not going to be that. Rather, sorry, it makes 30 images for this one. So, anyway, so yeah, we've looked at the image size adjuster in a previous video, guys. If you want more information on that, just check the links. And Fade-O-Rama obviously is part of the DJZ-Nodes pack. And there's a whole bunch of example workflows now in examples, and I keep adding more. All right, so these examples are aimed at trying to help you use the tools in the pack. They're not like part of a workflow which is already out there, because the workflows that I'm using are going to be integrating a lot of this stuff anyway. I'm certainly going to use stuff like that, my aspect size, the string painting nodes, and also with a lot of the testing I've been doing lately, if I want to test Thora, it's a pain to be constantly copying and pasting. Because look, this is what I had to use before. You've often probably seen there's notes on my workflows where it's just endless notes with prompts, and it's like, I would much rather have those prompts be in a repo and then just be selectable. So I could just pick Zenkai Desu from there with MT thing. And then I could, let's plug that one into there, turn that off for a minute. Got string painter, yeah. So there we go, start it and stop it. There we go. It's giving me what I wanted. I didn't need to like mess around, basically. So we're going to take another look at this workflow very soon. But for now, that was my FFX Fade-O-Rama. Feel free to take the code, remix it, please improve it. If anybody can make it better, make it more memory efficient or whatever, I'd be so glad to sort of, have a little chat with you and see what you can do and whatnot. It's just a bit of fun, really, this project. I just thought it would be cool to have a little crossfade thing. I won't be surprised if there's already one out there, but part of this is like a little, it's a little challenge to make something. You know what I mean? It's like, if you want to make custom nodes, you've got to have a purpose. And the thing is, I wrote this collab ages ago. So what I've really done, guys, is I've converted a collab into a custom node. Now, that's a little bit different than just making a little Fade-O-Rama thing. Even though I do think it's really cool myself, I'm biased because I wrote the thing. But it's like, it's mostly demo code put together in this custom node format, right? That's how I built the collab initially. I went through the help files and found, oh, that's cool. I didn't know you could do that. I tried to make something with it, yeah? And then here we are. Like the Zenkai prompt system, like the string painting, these are all little bits that have been just kind of there, but disjointed. Now they've got a node that I can just bring into the workflow and use whenever I want to. And like I say, there are many collab things that I've got, which I might try converting over to new nodes. So keep an eye out on that one. Like I said, Fade-O-Rama is basically aimed at trying to make like a little cheap music video from stills. I don't doubt that it'll get better. But for now, there it is. Please keep your transitions limited to like 1 or 2, guys. Honestly, when I did it, I did it with a lot, all right? I had like columns going all the way down. I think I had about 3 minutes worth. And no, it would do the frames, but then it would cook on image list to batch. And I tried doing all kinds of like, debugging and whatever, but basically it was just too big. It was just too huge. And I thought about, oh, well, I could make like a video here. I could make a video here. You could do each section, you know what I mean? Like video, and then it does break it up. And that might be how I end up releasing it, but it's kind of like, then you've just got to get the clips and put them together, which we're kind of, I guess, used to anyway. But there it is, guys. FFX Fade-O-Rama, part of the latest update for DJZ-Nodes. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. So, memberships are here. I've added donator and member. The donator membership is just you want to support the channel, help us grow. Member, you're going to get some exclusive video access. And check out the join now button for more information.